Mom had been the love of his life. She had been his old lady, worn property of Tank proudly on her back, and loved my father fiercely for years. She died when I was 6 years old. I can barely remember her outside of Dad's stories. Dad talking about her always took him down a sad road. I knew I needed to divert him off that path. What's been going on around the club?
Not much. At least not that I can talk about. Sturgis is in a couple weeks, so the boys are prepping for the ride up there. And we're thinking about opening another shop and dedicating one location to bikes, the other to cages. Business has been non-stop lately.
The disciples weren't always law-abiding citizens, but they weren't the criminal outfit the larger outlaw clubs were. The club made money through legitimate businesses, including one of the best garages in the Pacific Northwest. The shop in Hoffman, Oregon, brought riders in from several states away, and Canada, for their custom work. The work they did on bikes and cages, what the boys liked to call cars, because they felt caged in when riding inside them, was superb. They may also have dipped into some less legal means of earning, but those activities had lightened up immensely over the years. I think that's a great idea.
So do I. We're voting on it this week, so we'll see how the club feels. Hang on a second, girlie.
In the background, I could hear male voices. Dad must have been at the clubhouse or the shop. I tried to pick out anyone familiar, but I didn't recognize any of them. It had been 5 years since I had last been around the club for more than a day, so that was not particularly surprising. Still, a glum feeling settled in my chest. The place that had once been my home was so unfamiliar now. Dad came back on the line a moment later.
Sorry, Cami. I gotta go. Press needs me.
All right. I'll talk to you later. Love you.
Love you too, baby girl. I'll see you in a couple days.
After we hung up, it dawned on me that I was still sitting in the parked car. It was really about time I got going. I pulled down the visor to check myself over in the mirror one last time. My still perfectly curled brown hair had enough body to look vibrant, but not enough to make it outlandish. That was one of Nathaniel's favorite polite ways to say something might look slutty. He used to use it quite a bit while advising me on my style choices. Recently, I learned how to make my appearance such that he would remain quiet. The dress I was wearing was a perfect example of that. A simple A-line sheath dress in a pale pink. Not too tight, not too short, not low-cut or revealing, paired with nude pumps. No stiletto heels or peep toes for me. The whole outfit screamed blah. I looked to the white gold watch Nathaniel bought me as a not-so-subtle statement on my frequent tardiness to meetings like the one I was currently late to, resigning myself to the reality that there was no more use in dallying. My life demanded my involvement, half-hearted or otherwise. Camille, hon, you're just in time, Sandra declared from the head of the table. Her perfectly highlighted hair pulled back into a French twist was so tight, it verged on giving her a facelift. Not that she had never had one of those before. Her yellow, peony-printed dress and white cashmere cardigan were certainly well-styled, but something about the bright pattern and overly trendy cut also spoke of a desperate desire to hang on to her retreating youth. Of course, I may have been reading too much into it. Her husband's penchant for 20-somethings was hardly a secret. I wanted to laugh at her comment. I was strolling into the weekly ladies' luncheon nearly an hour late. If I were any other woman seated at the table, I would have received a much less charitable welcome from Sandra, the self-appointed president of the Fair Oaks Country Club Wives Group. Perhaps because of my younger age, she seemed